to Anchored at Harbor Park CrossFit, a show dedicated to helping you find enrichment for the other 23 hours of your day outside of the gym. Here's your hosts, Jason, Dave, and Corian.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Anchored at Harbor Park. I'm Coach Jason.
I'm Coach Dave.
Coach Corian.
And this is episode 56, and we are talking about test week.
Yay.
Whoop, whoop.
Do we have an icebreaker today?
I have one. What is your favorite Easter candy?
You know what? I'm going to be super on the opposite end of this and probably hate it. I hate Peeps. I do. So that is not my favorite.
Can't say I've ever liked Peeps. I probably only tried
I don't
it
get
once or
the
twice.
obsession.
Yeah.
That being said, favorite Easter candy? I don't know. I always I don't know, my mom always put like Rolos in her Easter basket. I always like Rolos. Anything with caramel and chocolate I'm good with.
I'm a Reese's peanut butter and chocolate guy.
That's true.
So I got some. No, it's not the eggs. It was a bunny.
Yeah.
A mini bunny with peanut butter in it. Reese's peanut butter.
Can they put caramel in a Reese's peanut butter?
So there's peanut butter and caramel?
Yeah.
And chocolate. I'm sure they could.
I feel like I need to make this at home. And then I also feel like that may be just a Twix bar now that I think about
Twix is very good.
it. Dave?
I liked the Cadbury eggs, and then I liked the Reese's. They were the big egg because they had a lot of peanut butter in it.
Yeah, Dave with peanut butter.
So anything peanut butter.
That's the best.
Did you get an Easter basket?
I got a very little one.
Did you get a picnic basket?
I got a mini one from Coley's mom.
That's sweet. I got nothing. And I'm okay with it. We don't need that.
All right.
We had a good brunch.
I ate way too much food yesterday, but it was all good. If you couldn't tell, yesterday was Easter for us.
Yay.
All right, test week. We got the next one planned. You'll obviously hear more as we get closer, but we thought we'd give you guys a little heads up now. So the date, or the dates, plural, I suppose, June 25th through the 29th. So if you're around last October, we did it then, the 1 week, Monday through Saturday. Every day is going to have a workout, maybe two. They're points-based. So based on how you do on the workout, you earn points. And then after all the workouts, you're going to get a score. And that determines what level you are in the gym and all that fun stuff. So, June 25th through 29th. What's that? Just about 2 months away.
Yeah, about 2 months, yeah.
Man, I can't believe how fast time is going. I can't believe it was Easter. It's the end of April. June's going to be here. It's just flying by. But I'm excited. I love test week. I think that, obviously we can't do them all the time, but I think it's a great way for people to understand where they're at, what they're good at. I just had this conversation with Rachel today about their train and her workouts from this weekend. And, she feels like she's doing really well on her rowing and she's getting so much better, but she feels so far behind where she needs to be. Understand though that in CrossFit, it's not always about being the best at every single thing. It's just when it comes to cardio being shorter, me and her just stay with the pack, which she did. And I was and then everything else kind of goes in your favor. And I think that's how test week is now too. And I really enjoy it because these are the things for me, I like to understand am I progressively getting better? But then what's my overall fitness so that I don't just focus on one area too heavily.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I really liked the way the scoring was set up this last test week too. It was more fun. You had total points. It kind of made it competition style. How many points can I accumulate? I like that.
So yeah, if you've been with us for a long time, you might remember we used to do 2 week test weeks where we did a whole bunch of different things, and then it was a little bit more complicated where your score was based on, for the lifts, percentage of your body weight. and then like different cardio type scores, which was really cool, but it was really hard because it was 2 weeks long and not everyone made every workout. So then last fall we changed it to more of a, like Dave said, accumulate points, kind of like the CrossFit Games, which is, a week-long competition, and then based on how you do, you can earn points. So it made it fun because then it's like you're excited to go to the day to see how many points you can earn. Mm-hmm. And then at the end of the week, you got to see where you stacked up. So let's talk about like what it is and then the importance of it. And Corian, you kind of got into it a little bit just there.
Sorry. I get ahead of myself. So who wants to talk about like what it is? So I guess to me, what Test Week is it's about understanding where I'm at fitness level wise for each individual kind of like domain. So we talk about it like agility and strength, power, what are all the 9?
Endurance, speed, coordination.
There we go.
So
all of those things, like where am I in each one individually, but then where am I in as a whole? Because like I feel like you just put me on a 2K row, like that's not going to be my strong suit whatsoever. But if you can put me with a row where then we have a lift or some gymnastic moves, something else that I can kind of quote unquote catch up, then it's not as much of a weakness per se for me. So I like kind of understanding like where all these things fit, and then maybe something does pop up. Maybe there's like gymnastics when it's with something else, and I'm like, whoa, I didn't realize that was going to destroy me as much as it did.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, you can kind of figure out where your holes are in your CrossFit game per se, because even if you've been here for a while, you might realize if you've been working on one thing in particular, maybe one thing that was a strength, if you haven't been working on it in a while, maybe that has gotten worse or something else has gotten better. So we use Test Week as an assessment of where you currently are. You might have gotten a lot stronger over the past 6 months, and we'll show you that. You might have gotten better at gymnastics. You might have gotten worse, like I said. So you never really know until you test and see what's going on.
Right, and I like it because like exactly what you said, it's a test. So it's testing your strength, testing your gymnastics, testing it. And even though the workouts may not be the same, like you alluded to, the cool thing about it is, based on last year's results, you can kind of gauge where you're at. So now you've either set new PRs or you can show that, okay, I'm improving from last year, or maybe you're still in the same spot you were. And at that point, if you can sit there and look at it and be like, still don't have my pull-up, or I still don't have that movement that was bothering me last year. Well, what did you do in that last year? Did you work on it or not? And then you can gauge it and say, hey, coach, I need some extra programming, or you can obviously develop it yourself, but there's a plethora of ways you can then go. You can use, Test Week as that gauge for yourself.
Mm-hmm. And so basically game plan afterwards.
Right.
Whatever you find for that hole or that weakness, however you want to fill that gap.
And like Dave kind of said, what have you done in the last year? Maybe you did do things in the last year, and then you're still frustrated because you're like, well, I still don't have my pull-up. So this is something that I talk about all the time. You're going to need to reflect and correct. So is it maybe that you were trying something, but it just wasn't the right thing? Like for some people, they might have a goal to get something. Like Blair's always trying to improve his overhead pressing movements, but he's just trying to get really strong, and he really is taking the time now to focus on mobility. So he did something for the last year and it didn't work, but now he's got to try something else because he is still in the same spot that he was. And I think that's great about Test Week too, is it's not that you're not failing anything or nothing's going wrong, but like you're just assessing what happened and then what do I need to do now.
And the other thing I like to stress is I like people to like realize and be happy with what they do have, as opposed to like dwelling on like, well, you could be really negative on yourself too and just be like, oh, I don't have that handstand push-up, or I don't have that wall walk, or I don't have the pull-up yet. And you can dwell on that and be really angry, or you can say, well, this is where I'm at now, and maybe I got an extra inch compared to last year, and that's still improvement. And understanding that maybe the pull-up that you desire isn't the pull-up that you see, but you got to be happy with where you're at.
Yeah, so maybe we should talk about that. the goal is to have fun with it. So celebrating what we can do and not beating ourselves up over things we can't do. We talk about failure a lot, and, that might show itself. You might fail at something during test week, just like the open, just like last test week. That's okay. Use it as a learning opportunity and not something to get down about.
And I think that that's a great statement too. And it kind of goes into like, what is your purpose? I know that we talk about this all the time. Things are ever changing, ever evolving, ever shifting depending on life and what's important or things that have happened. Like if you're going into test week and you think like, I have to PR and I have to get my pull up and I have to handstand walk it, but your general goal is to just be healthier and fitter, our expectations and reality then aren't really going to line up, and that's where our disappointment comes from. So just really like understanding like what is your purpose, I think will help set you up for a better mindset about, looking back at what things are going on. I
agree.
Yeah, maybe that's a whole episode we can do later is like mindset approaching it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then lastly, we don't want to set ourselves up for failure, but we still want to push ourselves. This is a time for us to kind of get outside of that comfort zone. Maybe push a little bit harder than we would in normal training. If you've heard all of our episodes, we talk about like the difference between competing and training and practicing, where competing is reserved for like 100% intensity, and we don't do it very often. This would be that time for you to maybe be a little sloppier on some of the movements because you're going for speed, or maybe you're not going to slow down and work on a technique that week because you're trying to get the best score you can.
Yeah. Ooh, today I just have all the coughs. This is something I talked to someone about in class last week when they were asking about the bar muscle-ups and what way they should scale it. And they're like, well, I can do the jumping bar muscle-ups, but it's still going to take me a long time and I might not get done in the time cap. I'm like, what is your purpose? The purpose of this workout is to train and do better, not always go fast and get as many reps or get it done in as short amount of time. She still got it done in the time, so that was fine. And I think understanding that too, like you said, test week is to know like how far can you push. So like you said, like maybe I'll try to get a pull up instead of like a banded, like when we do a test. So you might get 1 or 2 strict pull ups, whereas with a light band you might have gotten 10 or 20. But I mean, like, what are you trying to figure out? And what's important to you?
Cool. Should we take a peek at last October's test week?
Yeah, do we have it on there? Just want to make sure that, talk about the different levels too, so people understand like what those are and what it represents. But we can do that at the end. All right, let me pull up last year's. All right, so Jay, which one are you looking for?
Let's just go day by day and
okay.
Look at.
So the first day, it looks like we did the CrossFit total.
Oh, that's fun.
So that was
deadlift, squat.
Testing your strength. Yep, back squat, shoulder press, and deadlift.
Yeah, so that was just seeing your raw strength in a few different movements.
And then it was your score was your total weight added together. That was a fun workout. I liked that one. Sorry, and it's being slow. And then Tuesday, looks like we did gymnastics day.
That was the gymnastics day.
And it looked like we did Alpha Test 7, which was for max reps of 1 minute wall balls, 1 minute pull-ups. Sorry. Yeah, 1 minute wall balls, pull-ups, handstand push-ups, and then toes to bar.
Yeah, that was a good one.
So testing gymnastic skills there.
And then right after that, went 10 rounds, for time, 9 handstand push-ups and 35 double unders.
And I think that gymnastic was about not only testing can you do the movements, but can you do high volume of them and go to failure. And so that's always a different thing too. Like sometimes we're testing like, can you just do the movement? And sometimes we're testing, can you do it over and over and over again?
Mm-hmm. And then Wednesday was testing our power, coordination, and agility.
We did that shuttle block run, right?
Oh yeah.
That might have been on Friday. This one was 1 power clean, 1 hang squat clean, 1 front squat, 1 hang squat clean, and 1 split jerk.
Oh, so that was just some
Unbroken complex.
Fun Olympic lifting strength stuff. Yeah, that was a fun complex. It was tough.
Mm-hmm.
And then Thursday, we did the speed. That was a 1,600 meter bike, 1 minute rest, 800 meter bike, 1 minute rest, 400 meter bike, 1 minute rest, 200 meter bike.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Over time, yeah.
And then Friday,
I think Thursday was kind of a rest day. That was a quick bike.
right, and that's why we did that.
Then a makeup day.
We did Friday agility and cardio. That was the shuttle run test. We had 30 feet shuttle run to pick up the block and come back. And then we did
Then the deadlift burpee sprint.
Devil's Wad, the 6-minute AMRAP of deadlifts and bar facing burpees. That was hard. That was a tough one. Saturday was stamina. Looks like we tested Fight Gone Bad. One of my favorite workouts. I don't know why, but it was. We did that, and then Sunday was a rest day or a complete makeup day. So
there's a lot of stuff there, a lot of different things we were testing, like we talked about before. We had long workouts, we had short ones. We had power, we had strength, we had coordination, we had heavy lifts, we had just the bike. So you get a wide array of stuff.
So, and again, this is where we get to figure out, like, if you're here for health and wellness, are you just generally improving overall? If there's certain goals that you have, you might focus on some of those more than you might have on the other ones. Are you more of a competitive athlete and you want to know where you're standing all over? Like, there's just such a good base for anybody, no matter what your intention is during this week, to figure out. One of the other things that I think that a lot of people don't realize is we also use this for us as owners of the gym to kind of figure out how the gym is doing. And I think that that's, we kind of talked about that before when we talked about our different types of programming. We have our class programming, additional programming, and personal programming. So I think that this helps us when we're programming understand, like, what is our intention of the gym, and then where is the gym maybe need some boost. You know, if a lot of people are lacking in the cardio endurance, I think that's, you know, something that we would take a bigger look at.
Yeah, definitely. We're trying to make well-rounded athletes, not biased in any one area. So, you know, if we have a bunch of people deadlifting 600 pounds but can't run a 10-minute mile, then that's an issue.
Yeah, absolutely.
So as far as those levels went, so we just pulled that up. We made to make it a little more fun. It really doesn't mean anything. We used to tie it into our way we program, so you'd have level 1, 2, and 3 on the board. So that way, if you were level 1, you'd follow level 1, etc. This time, we got rid of that because we feel that our programming, you can kind of follow the track or the based on your abilities anyways. So it doesn't really matter what level you're at because sometimes that got confusing. But anyways, we made it a little bit more fun. We attached 10 levels. So based on what your scoring was, you could earn a little certificate. And it looks like level 1 was recruit, and that was 0 points to 100 total points. If you got 100 to 200 points, you were level 2, which would have been deckhand.
Yeah, they all were just like the next 100
level
points.
up. And then navigator was level 3. Cartographer was level 4. Mariners level 5. Swashbuckler level 6.
I love these names.
The Buccaneers level 7. The Captain's 8. The Admiral's 9. And then the Pirate is 10. So we just made it fun out of it, kind of added little Mariner names to it, I guess you would say.
Yeah, it kind of just turns it into a game. Growing up, I always liked to play the games where I could advance in levels, and it kind of reminds me of that where, you know, maybe you need to work on your gymnastics to get to that next level. So now you have a concrete area to focus on over the next few months until we do it again. They will be reset though. So like if you earned level 6 last time, that doesn't necessarily mean you will again. Because like we said, test week is based on where you currently are. So anything in the past is not totally relevant today.
And it just, again, gives you a reason to do it. Because I think like sometimes when we did test week prior, some people they were like, well, I've already done those tests, so I just need to do this one test, to get my level 5 or whatever it was. And so they just did that one test, but then skipped the rest of them. And I was like, well, that's not, the point of it is to test, all the other tests too, to see if you've improved, not that because you've already attained that level or whatever. So yeah, I like the fact that it'll reset, and we've already discussed that we'll determine how the WODs are going to be structured this time, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's just getting excited for the week and coming every day and busting butt.
I think the energy last time was really high too. It was cool to see everybody push, and like you said, to kind of get out of their comfort zone because they're testing for themselves and everybody's cheering each other on, and just the energy. It's just another thing to get excited for, other than just coming in here to get a workout. You're also getting a workout, and you're trying to, you want to get those points, you want to do something. So it just gives you another reason to shoot for something.
Yeah, and hopefully, one of our goals is to kind of make like a strategy guide for the levels too, like what you can do to level up. Hopefully, I can get working on that, and that would be fun too. Maybe that'll be my goal.
We always talk about this, like reassessing your goals and where you're at in life is really important. So we just feel that test week is a good way to remind you guys that, like, let's reevaluate things and where we're at. What do you want to do? What do you want to achieve? Dave's over the years just really enjoys just being fit. I think at 36, he is much more fit today than when we met 10 years ago, even though we thought we were fit then too. Well, at least he did. I knew I wasn't. But just knowing like those different points and where you're at in life. So we're just giving you an opportunity to be able to do that because, again, health and wellness is lifelong, and it's not just a phase.
Yeah, and again, we've said that, celebrate those PRs. And sometimes, like, if you're just coming to the workouts and you're not really paying attention, you don't really know if you're getting better. So this is just another way for you to kind of see your general fitness, and a way for you to look back and say, oh, I am improving because last time I got this, or like didn't feel as winded this time, or I am getting stronger. So it's just another way for you to see that this program does work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I'm excited. See you guys. We'll give you probably more information to come. But I think that's a wrap, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right. Stay classy, Harbor Park.
See you later, guys.
Thanks for listening to Anchored at Harbor Park CrossFit. If you would like further information about our programs, visit www.harborparkcrossfit.com. We hope you'll tune in next time.